You know the moment I'm talking about. You're sitting across from her talking about your day, a small disagreement, or maybe even nothing at all. And then it happens. She stops talking. Not just for a few seconds. Not a quiet pause. A silence that stretches. Heavy, cold, almost tangible. No explanation. No eye contact. No sign of what's going on inside her mind. And immediately your stomach tightens. Your chest feels heavier. Your mind starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Was I too blunt? Not enough. Should I apologize? Should I leave her alone? Every instinct in you screams to fix it, to fill the empty space, to make her speak again. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of questions, full of tension, full of unspoken rules you didn't know existed. And here's the cruel part. The longer it lasts, the more your thoughts take over. You start second-guessing yourself, replaying every word, analyzing every gesture, imagining every possible mistake. And the truth is, that's exactly what it's designed to do. Silence isn't just quiet. It's a psychological pull, a subtle, invisible pressure that shifts the weight of the relationship onto you. And if you don't understand why it works, you'll keep trying to fix something you can't see. And the more you try, the more trapped you'll feel. Because in that moment, the silence isn't about you. It's about her. And the only way out is to understand what she's really doing. Anger is easy to read. Criticism has a shape. You can hear it, see it, respond to it. Silence is chaos. When a woman goes silent, your brain doesn't just register the quiet. It lights up alarms. Every neuron screams uncertainty, because humans are wired to seek clarity, to solve problems, to repair damage. And silence creates a void where your instincts used to operate. You can't argue. You can't apologize correctly. You can't fix what isn't defined. The mind starts filling the emptiness with worst-case scenarios. You imagine every possible mistake, every way you could have failed. Every word you didn't say becomes a crime in your head. And the longer the silence lasts, the heavier it becomes. Not just in your mind, but in your chest, in your stomach, in your sleep. Anger can be faced. Criticism can be answered. Silence silently reshapes your reality. It doesn't just hurt. It unsettles, destabilizes, and quietly forces you to move toward it, to break it, to restore what's missing. And that's why men react. That's why you replay every interaction. That's why you feel like you're losing control, even when you've done nothing wrong. Because silence isn't neutral. It's a tool. An invisible hand nudging, testing, and sometimes controlling. At first, it's subtle. She doesn't answer a question fully. She avoids eye contact. She drifts into silence. It's not planned. It's not manipulation. Not yet. It's avoidance. A quiet shield she learned to use long before she met you. Because confrontation feels unsafe. Vulnerability feels dangerous. Admitting anger, disappointment, or frustration, it's risky. And silence is safer. Protects her. Keeps her from saying something she'll regret. Keeps her from showing exactly how she feels. But here's where it gets dangerous and why it starts to feel like control. When she withdraws, something happens. You lean in. You ask, you apologize, you try to reconnect. You adjust. You change your tone, your actions, your behavior. And suddenly, without thinking, she discovers something powerful. Silence moves you. Silence makes you act. What began as self-protection becomes leverage. Not consciously, not maliciously, but unconsciously. The very thing she uses to protect herself now shapes your behavior. It bends reality, tilts the dynamic, and quietly rewrites the rules of your relationship. And you don't even realize it's happening. You just feel the tension, the unease, the need to fix the silence. Because withdrawal is never just a pause. It's a subtle, invisible hand guiding your actions, even when she isn't aware she's using it that way. And over time, that pattern becomes familiar, a rhythm, a script neither of you consciously wrote, but both of you follow. Silence transforms from a shield into a tool that quietly controls the space between you. Here's where silence stops being just avoidance and starts being power, because the moment she withdraws, something invisible happens. The weight of the relationship shifts from her to you. Her discomfort, her tension, her anger, it no longer occupies her space. It lands in yours, and suddenly you are the one holding it. You feel restless, anxious, uneasy. Your chest tightens. Thoughts spiral. You replay every word, every gesture, every possible misstep. And in that vacuum, the silence itself becomes a tool. Without raising her voice, without confrontation, without ever saying a word, she now has influence. She guides your behavior. She shapes your actions. You become attentive, cautious, apologetic, careful. And the darker truth? She doesn't even need to intend this. It's unconscious. It's instinctive. But the effect is the same. The silent treatment teaches, tests, and often bends the will of the one left trying to fill the empty space. It's not just quiet. It's leverage. Emotional leverage that pulls at your mind, your heart, and slowly your identity. Because silence, when wielded this way, always has a consequence. And that consequence is control, subtle, invisible, and devastatingly effective. Here's the thing most men don't realize. Silence isn't invented in adulthood. It's learned. Long before she met you, long before relationships, even before love. She absorbed patterns from her parents, from her family, from the world around her. A father who withdrew when upset. A mother who used quiet as punishment. Arguments that ended with someone storming out or shutting down. Love that came with conditions. Complaints that were never resolved. Her nervous system remembers it all, and it whispers a simple truth. Distance works. Withdrawal works. Silence keeps you safe. So when she goes quiet now, it doesn't feel cruel. It feels familiar. Feels natural. Justified. Even necessary. Because the brain equates the unknown with danger. And early experiences taught her that emotional withdrawal keeps her from harm, or at least from conflict. And over time, this natural defense becomes a pattern, a rhythm, a script that plays automatically, sometimes without even thinking. The silence that once protected her now controls the space between you, guides your behavior, shapes your reactions. It's not evil, it's learned. But it's also devastating because familiarity makes it invisible. She doesn't see it as a weapon. She sees it as normal. And you're left feeling the full weight of it, trying to decode a language she never meant to teach, but that your heart already knows all too well. The part that catches most men off guard is this. Silence isn't just a tool she uses. It's a storm raging in your own mind. Because when she withdraws, something shifts inside you. Subtle at first, almost imperceptible. You start replaying every word, every gesture, every look. Did I say the wrong thing? Should I have done more? Maybe I shouldn't have said anything at all. Thoughts spiral, self-doubt creeps in. You apologize for things you didn't do, adjust behaviors you didn't need to, overthink choices that never mattered. And the more you try to fix it, the more the silence seems to tighten around you. Confidence erodes. Authenticity fades. You start performing instead of being. Because silence doesn't just test patience. It tests identity. Your mind becomes a mirror for her unspoken emotions. You internalize her tension, her dissatisfaction, her unvoiced criticisms, and slowly, without realizing it, you begin to question yourself. You think you're failing her. But in reality, the silence is never about failure. It's about control. And the cruelest part? The more you bend to fill the void, the more familiar it becomes. The more your instincts shift, your behaviors change, your confidence falters. All to restore a balance that isn't yours to restore. Silence is subtle, invisible, and devastating because it doesn't just communicate displeasure. It reshapes who you are in that relationship. Not every silence is a trap. Some quiet moments are healthy. Pause to think. A moment to cool off. A chance to reset emotions before speaking. But the silent treatment, that's different. It's deliberate in its effect, even if unintentional. It stretches too long. It leaves questions unanswered. It weighs on you, pulling at your thoughts, forcing you to adjust, to apologize, to guess what she wants, instead of simply being a moment to reflect. Here's the difference. Healthy space respects boundaries. It gives both people room without blame. It ends, communicates, "I need a moment, then we talk." Manipulative silence, on the other hand, never truly ends. It lingers unresolved, creates tension. It shifts responsibility from her to you. It leaves you anxious, uncertain, and desperate to fix what isn't yours to fix. The cue is subtle but clear. If the quiet makes you feel controlled, worried, or like walking on eggshells, that's the silent treatment. If it restores calm, allows reflection, and ends with conversation, that's healthy space. Recognizing the difference is the first step to protecting yourself. The truth most men don't see: her silence isn't about you. It doesn't measure your worth. It doesn't define your effort. It doesn't judge your love. It reflects her inner world, her patterns, her fears, her programming. The moment you understand that, something shifts. You stop bending. You stop overthinking. You stop trying to fill a void that isn't yours. Boundaries appear, emotional boundaries. Small, invisible lines that protect your mind, your heart, your sanity. Self-preservation isn't selfish. It's survival. You can still care, still love, still communicate. But the weight of her silence no longer rests on your shoulders. Silence loses its power. It becomes just a pause, just a moment. And you remain whole. Silence might feel like peace, but the truth is darker. It's rarely calm, rarely neutral. More often, it's avoidance disguised as quiet. Pause that carries weight. A space filled with tension, questions, and unspoken expectations. When silence lingers, it isn't giving you room. It's shaping your thoughts, bending your actions, and quietly testing your limits. The uncomfortable truth: you cannot fix what isn't broken by your presence. You cannot fill a void that wasn't yours to begin with. The power lies in understanding, in seeing silence for what it really is, in recognizing when it's a signal of avoidance and when it's genuine reflection. Choose relationships where words, communication, and honesty are present, where conflicts are faced, not weaponized through quiet. Because the moment you stop carrying the weight of silence, you reclaim your clarity, your confidence, and your life. And that's when the invisible chains finally loosen. The tension fades, and you see the world and your relationships in a whole new light. If this helped you understand yourself a little better, imagine what else you'll uncover here. Subscribe to MindView so you don't miss the next insight. You might be surprised by how much it shifts the way you see people and yourself.